Are there any limitations or differences in playing 3DS games on a 2DS?
Hey there! Welcome to today's video, where we'll be discussing the limitations and differences in playing 3DS games on a 2DS. If you're a fan of Nintendo's handheld gaming consoles, you might be wondering how the 2DS compares to its sibling, the 3DS, when it comes to playing games. Well, you're in the right place, so let's dive in.
What is a 2DS?
Before we get into the limitations and differences, let's quickly go over what a 2DS is. The Nintendo 2DS is a handheld gaming console that was released as an alternative to the 3DS. Unlike the 3DS, the 2DS does not have a 3D display. Instead, it features a flat, 2D screen and lacks the clamshell design of the 3DS. Despite these differences, the 2DS is still capable of playing most 3DS games.
Compatibility of 3DS games on a 2DS.
Now let's talk about the compatibility of 3DS games on a 2DS. The 2DS is backward compatible with 3DS games, which means you can play your favorite 3DS titles on the 2DS console. This is great news for those who own a 2DS and want to enjoy the vast library of games available for the 3DS.
Limitations of playing 3DS games on a 2DS.
While the 2DS can play most 3DS games, there are a few limitations to keep in mind. The most notable limitation is the lack of stereoscopic 3D functionality. As mentioned earlier, the 2DS does not have a 3D display, so you won't be able to experience games in stereoscopic 3D like you would on a 3DS. However, it's important to note that not all 3DS games make use of the 3D feature, and many games can still be enjoyed in 2D on the 2DS. Another limitation of playing 3DS games on a 2DS is the lack of a C-stick. The C-stick, which is located on the right side of the new Nintendo 3DS and new Nintendo 3DS XL models, allows for more precise camera control in certain games. Since the 2DS doesn't have a C-stick, you may have to rely on other control methods or use the D-pad for camera control in games that require it.
Other differences.
Apart from the limitations mentioned earlier, there are a few other differences between the 2DS and 3DS worth noting. The most obvious difference is the design. The 2DS has a wedge-shaped design with a single, flat screen, while the 3DS features a clamshell design with two screens and a hinge in the middle. Additionally, the 2DS lacks the auto-stereoscopic 3D display found in the 3DS. This means that while the 3DS can display 3D visuals without the need for special glasses, the 2DS can only display games in standard 2D. To wrap things up, playing 3DS games on a 2DS is definitely possible, but there are a few limitations and differences to consider. The 2DS lacks the stereoscopic 3D functionality and a C-stick, which may affect the gameplay experience in certain games. However, if you don't mind playing in 2